All right, that's part A. Let's go look at part B. Part B, for the polynomial function right here, find the x-intercepts. Does the graph cross the x-axis, or does it touch and turn around at each intercept? Okay, touch and turn around, also known as bounce off. All right, let's go see. Now, how do you find an x-intercept? Same as we did for any other problem. To find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. So let me rewrite my function with a y. Y equals x to the 4th plus 8x to the 3rd plus 16x squared. And to find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. Okay, now, how do we solve this? Well, this is a polynomial. So first I need to make sure it's in order, and it is in order, 4, 3, 2. Then I'm going to look for any common factors. Do I have any common factors here? I sure do. What's the greatest common factor? Well, I can take 2x's from here, 2x's from here, and 2x's from here. So I can factor out x squared out of each of these three terms. Factor out the x squared, I'll be left with x squared plus 8x plus 16. All right, and next I'm looking at this trinomial inside the parentheses, and I'm going to factor that. Okay, so this is one that's called an easy one trinomial because it begins with a 1. And that means that I can go straight to my two binomial factors. I'm going to have x and x, two numbers that multiply to give me 16 and add to give me 8, positive 8, and that's going to be 4 and 4. Both of my signs are the same, and then I look here to tell me that both signs are positive. Okay, if you're not very familiar or comfortable with doing that, you should go and look up some videos on factoring trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. Now, I have all three of my factors, 1, 2, and 3, and any one of them can be 0. If this one's 0, the whole thing's 0. If this one's 0, the whole thing's 0. 0 times anything is 0. Same thing for the last one. If that's 0, the whole thing is 0. So let's set each of my factors equal to 0. X squared equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. And x plus 4 equals 0. In the first one, if I take the square root of both sides, plus or minus, x would be plus or minus 0. Same thing, 0, positive 0 and negative 0. For the second one, I subtract 4 on both sides. And I'm going to find out x is negative 4. And the last one's exactly the same. I would get x is negative 4, and I don't need to write it twice. So when they ask me what are the x-intercepts, my answer is going to be 0, negative 4. Okay, the other part of this question asks if the graph crosses through or touches and turns around. Okay, touches and turns around is the same thing as bounces off. Bounces off. Okay, and I determine that based on the multiplicity. So when I look at my zeros, 0 and negative 4, okay, when I look at my x-intercepts, I look at how many times they happen. Now remember, if x squared equals 0 right here, x is plus or minus 0. So this actually has a multiplicity of 2, and if you have an even multiplicity, it's going to bounce off. Okay, so I'm going to write a multiplicity of 2, and the negative 4 obviously happens twice, and that also has a multiplicity of 2. So both of these zeros are going to touch and turn around. Okay, and I'll write that right here. All right, so to answer part B, the graph touches and turns around at 0 and -4, and it does not cross at any of the x-intercepts.